Hey guys, Saf coming at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video. It is another episode of the free-to-play series, Free Saphira, that we have been playing for about 2 and a little bit weeks now, coming up here. It's been a few days since the last episode, so I'm going to give you a rundown of kind of where the account is at. And we're going to be talking about the first kind of dilemma that I've reached with this account. We'll be having a look at some of the champions that I've pulled, and we will be doing the Soul Forge. We have unlocked it now that we've got level 42. You get some starter Soul Forge stuff, a bit of coins. We got a tier 2 Soul Stone here. We've got some tier 7 Soul Stones. And we're going to be looking at what we got out of the Deck of Fates. So firstly, what have I been working on? So we've been progressing through the missions and we've been trying to forecast things that we need to do. Obviously, there is a ×2 sacred on the weekend. So that is what I've been focusing on at the moment, which is acquiring as many sacreds that I can so that I can maximize that window of moment of time. Ideally, I would have liked to have done some referral programs. One of my followers has been really grinding. A big shout out to Jessica, who is currently running and trying to get me some referral here. I need to do one as well, but getting these to level 50 is a big job. So that might be for 6 weeks time in the next ×2 sacred. But what we've been doing is kind of looking at the missions going, okay, where are the blockers? What do we need to do to make sure that we're going to get this? So obviously the Void Keep doesn't open now. We've passed the first 7 days until the Sunday. So we've basically got to make sure that if we want to get this sacred, we can do everything on that same day. So this should be fairly okay. It's just a case of investing energy. And then you can see I've got pretty much everything completed. A bit of Minotaur. I can get to Minotaur 15 now. Can't necessarily auto farm it very reliably, but we can do it. We've also got here some Fire Knight. I'm at stage 12. I'm still trying to get stage 13. That's another thing we'll be talking about. Ascend a champion to level 5. We've got one of those to do. Already got 4 level 50s. We've done this campaign. Spider we can do in Spider 10. So you can see all of these are pretty much done. And we need to do 1.5 million damage to the Demon Lord. I do about 5 million now on some of them. So that's easy. And then we have to fuse Justicia. So to fuse Justicia, we need to have starter rares up to level 30 fully ascended. And I have got my Justicia champions ready to go. So that is ready to go almost immediately. In terms of masteries, we could do them already. You can see I'm working my way towards this. And then in terms of the other mission, which was to get this level 5 ascension, we've got champions here. We've got a Runic Warden. We've got a Aurora Grim here that we're ready to go. So we can just instantly complete that mission as well. There's also a sacred for me tied behind completing Finite stage 13. So we've been trying different combinations, and I think by Thursday or on Thursday stream, we'll probably be doing a very in-depth speed tune of stage 13 just to complete it once. We don't really want to go back to Finite at the moment. We just want to complete it so that we get this sacred. So we should be with 2 opportunities for some really good champions. Now I've pulled some pretty good champions since the last episode. I've kind of gone down the yeet to play rather than the free to play, and I've kind of thrown out at the moment the concept that I would only ever pull shards on a ×2. And it's purely because I've come to the realization until I had actual champions that were worthy of a 60, I'm kind of in this weird dilemma of who do I put my focus and attention to. So I've pulled shards in hopes of trying to just get some different options to fill the core roles that I need for my dungeon and clan boss teams. You know, I need a decreased defense champion. That's sorted with Deacon. I needed a poisoner. Well, that's sorted with Kale. I need a decreased attack champion. I only really had Runic Warder, but I've since pulled some extra champions, but that was an issue. We need an ally protector. We still haven't managed to pull one of those yet. And we also probably need an increased defense, which we did pull. So I jumped on Hellhades stream the other night and we basically pulled all of our shards. I had Hellhades pull my shards. So the next bit you're going to see is my shard pulls from that stream, and it was pretty painful.
Okay, let's do it then. So do you want all of these pulled?
Pull everything.
Cool. Right, we're going to do the 3 singles first. Oh, I didn't do the prediction. This will be the gold now.
Well,
will we get gold? Get your predictions in, guys.
It's not
get
a
your
good
predictions
start.
in. It's not gold. This one's not.
Put
He's wearing the gold little bangles or whatever. But
yeah.
Damn.
So the one ally protector I would like is that new one, the new Corrigar. He's like really good, right? I think.
Yeah.
He could be really fun if I could get hold of him. But I mean, I would take a Brogni even. I'd take a Duchess, right? That's the good thing that pulling at least this weekend, at least the time 10 champions are like
very
giga busted strong.
Yeah.
What does this guy even do? Trugor?
Not a lot, honestly. Increase attack.
Well, that's pointless.
Just for himself. double chance to stun,
That's
useless.
pointless.
AoE, chance to increase cooldown. Oh, it's this guy actually. This
Budget,
ability is very good for faction wars,
budget,
but 30%
Alika,
chance.
right? Because Alika does exactly the same skill in the same faction.
Yeah, same faction. Yeah, true.
Obviously, rare versus epic. So
yeah, for
We'll keep
faction
them.
wars, it's not terrible though. This this style of skill is actually really helpful for faction wars.
yeah, it might be useful for sure.
Okay then, right, let's do this. So 2 more singles, and then we're gonna go big boy temple. I'm good at pulling rares, I'll tell you that.
Oh,
Very
what the
good.
hell is this? What does he even do? I don't even, I know a lot of the rares, but I know the standout rares. Like heal reduction, that's pointless. That's pointless. Okay, we're getting it out of the way. Ooh, hello. That's not terrible.
You had this.
Except this is one of those champions. It was like Gator. I pulled Gator and I was like, oh, he's not bad. He's a 3-turn cleanse and a 3-turn this. And I was like, he does literally everything that Spirit Host does.
This guy, he's part of the Razin.
Oh, is he? Oh, cool. There we go.
Yeah, we'll take that.
But he's basically not as good as Diabolist. Diabolist does everything he does, but better. And it's the same thing with Gator. Spirit Host
the only
does
thing with him
better.
is he does it all. He does at least 2 things in the same skill, right? Whereas she spreads hers between 2 skills.
True, but you get more value out of both skills because it's a 3-turn cooldown, right? And the thing is, I got Deacon as well, so it's always paired against the fact that there's a Deacon that will go in any team.
I guess he does come into, again, your earlier game faction war team. He's for sure in it because you need speed.
He'll help.
Okay, last single. It's another rare. Oh no, it's a farmable rare.
It's a farmable. That's the 3rd Templar I've pulled from an Ancient Shard, believe it or not. It's all right. We're getting rid of the bad luck, so the Sacred Zone's where all the gold is. Oh no. Oh no.
Don't do me this way.
Oh no.
Oh, so rares
Look how many farmable rares there are. It's like 2 farmable rares.
Yeah.
I've already got a Metal Shaper.
You got a Muckstalker. Muckstalker will help for.
He's a farmable rare though.
So that's 3 farmable rares, is it? Grappler's actually low key OP. He's actually good. He hits hard.
The shield, I suppose,
is 2 double hitters.
He's like probably a budget. Like it's just the cooldown is so long. I mean, Reflect. If I didn't have the runic water, it would be good, I guess. But
onto the void then.
Can only get better. Why did I decide this? Actually, that's really good. He's really good. Low key, an awesome champion. Actually, he's going to be a great. You can go into my dungeon teams as be a support. A really, really good champion. Actually, not too disappointed. Yeah, because he's got a really decent shield.
He's okay. I know he's okay.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
I don't have
set guy, isn't he?
The one thing I don't have in my teams right now is any form of like healing or cleansing. I've got like the Spirit Host 6-turn, but there's no one in the team that's like going to keep my team alive. It's do or die, so he could potentially come into a team if I need to try and get some healing.
Okay. Well, we know I can't possibly pull rares from these.
It's not getting any better.
Dweller, we ain't buying it.
I guess we're convincing everyone that the decision to pull shards right now is a terrible idea.
Yeah. Here we go then. First one, Sacred. It's an epic.
Oh.
You got the same as Vix.
I don't want a Quagon. He's all right, but
he's all right.
The problem is A3 is just so conditional.
Yeah.
It's just annoying. You just don't.
He
get
doesn't
what
bring
you want.
any debuffs. He doesn't bring. I guess he brings some healing and a shield. He's almost an upgraded version of Draconis, isn't he? It's just a better version of what we just looked at, I think.
Better version of Draconis, yeah. It's just the A2. It's the A3 I don't like. He's one of those champions where it's a bit like Isuga's A2. You basically get like an RNG as to what you want. At least you can control it a little bit. So I could use him on a 4-turn cool, like a 3-4 and a clan boss as a block debuffs and an increased defense potentially. So maybe actually he's actually not as bad as I'm actually thinking, because I could put him as a 4-3. And then I've got an increased defense and a block debuff, which I didn't have. He's kind of like an upgraded marked, I guess.
Right, here we go then. One more. Good luck. Come on. Won't be. Purple.
Oh no.
Arndolf. Provoke A1. Lowish chance. AoE weaken. And fear. Reflect. Oh, you got a counter attacker.
Do you know what's disgusting about this? He's basically an upgraded runic warder, isn't he?
Well, kinda. He only puts. Oh, he does put reflect on all allies. Yeah, true.
Well, the idea is obviously you put reflect, puts counter attack on himself, and then he's going to provoke. But isn't he like attack based, or is he defense based? Oh well, at least he's tanky,
No, he is defense
right?
based. Yeah, he's almost like a Caden but without the revive. Isn't he?
I mean, I've got a Harken for a weaken, but she's attack based and squishy, so at least I got like a weaken for clan boss. It's not the ally protector we all wanted.
Yeah, he could have been. He could have been better. Let's put it that way.
That could have been a Corrigar, you know.
Yeah, it could have been a Theodore.
So, is it a good idea to pull shards? Apparently not.
It's a definite no.
So since that, I've also pulled a few more. I've progressed through Nightmare a little bit. I've been trying to get to stage 6 because I really want to be able to farm some 6-star speed boots. Doesn't matter if they're common at the moment, just a few 6-star speed boots just to help some of my speed tuning and some of my champions get some gear. This stage 3 is just proving a little bit too difficult because of these Hyrias on the final wave. The ally attacks just kind of kill my champions, but we're not far away. But on the path towards there, we have been able to pick up 5 extra Ancients, which we pulled. We've pulled a few Voids. The deck of Fates has been quite kind to me, I feel. I've managed to get the Void Shard, the Ancient Shard, a lot of gems, and I've also picked up 2 extra Tier 1 Soul Stones and a bunch of the Mortal Soul coins as well. So I've kind of picked all of the really good valuable rewards if we think of what's in here, right? We don't really care about the XP boost. We've got so much of that. We managed to get, I think, the 4-star speed glyph. We managed to get all the shards, and we've managed to get the tier 2 essence. We haven't found the tier 1 essence yet. And we've got some core hammers, not so important, some multi-battles. The rest of the stuff, we've picked up half of the gems. The rest of the stuff we don't really care about. So we've kind of got quite good return rates. I did get one single flip on the common, and we got a 5-star KSO, which is painful. But I mean, if we find one more epic in here, there's a potential we could do that. We'll probably grind that out in this video and see if we get the epic from the last card. The chances are my luck will probably not be there. So where did we end up? We've managed to pull a Coffin Smasher. We actually got a Coffin Smasher out of a Mystery Shard, and he is a major addition because he is probably the best rare decrease attack champion in the game. We have a triple hit A1, great for Giant Slayer, 30% chance of placing decreased attack on each hit, hits 3 times, so you have a pretty good chance. Oh, it's not guaranteed, but it is on an A1, so you have a lot of chances to roll the dice, and it's down for 2 turns. You also get a HP burn here for a single target, not 100%, but pretty close, and we get a good passive which just helps reduce the incoming damage. Now, the HP burn is interesting because I don't really have an AoE HP burn champion, but I do have Harken. Harken has this A3 ability that can spread the burn. So potentially we could mimic an AoE HP burn using Coffin Smasher and Harken, although this kind of needs to be 100% to be anything reasonable. Otherwise, there's a chance that you're spreading nothing. The other big, huge addition is probably Uragrim. Uragrim, obviously everyone else can solo a lot of content. He's a major pull for the account, although I've been in this dilemma, and I know that a bunch of the challenges were like, why are you complaining you've pulled Uragrim, he's crazy. He is just a poisoner with continuous heals, and I already have a poisoner. So in terms of the rolls, yes, when I have him built up to 60 and I have good gear that I can put on him, something like a regen gear or something of that nature, he can probably solo a lot of content for me. But at the moment, where gear is quite scarce, you know, I've got him in some average to good gear for my level of account. You know, we've got some speed boots there, we've got a HP chest, but there's no speed on it. There's no accuracy on any of these pieces. We've got HP gloves that we got from the arena. This is a pretty good, okay piece, but it's 4-star. It's okay. You know, these pieces are okay. There's no way we can build resistance up to a high level right now. So we're kind of just reliant on surviving, which is really difficult. We do have a good ring that we've been able to pick up from the clan versus clan, although we would probably look to switch it to like maybe this ring, which is a bit more defensive. And we do obviously have some amulets that I've been able to acquire from doing Spider 10. But it's going to be a while before Uragrim is able to solo content for me because I just don't have the gear. So I could 60 him now, probably. I have enough food to make 160, but it's not really going to benefit me because I already have a poisoner. He's doing what Kale does. Now, I could dedicate Kale into an arena nuking capability, but in about 2 weeks, we're going to get Gembo, and Gembo will be one of my 60s pretty quickly because he will help deal with the main issue that this account has right now, dealing damage when you are negative affinity. Kale is struggling on Final Night 13, not because he's not built strong enough, but because he's weak affinity, so I can't get the damage out, whereas someone like Gembo would help get me through some of those waves really comfortably, and then he could be my main arena nuker all the way through to Gold 5. I can then dedicate Kale to being a clan boss champion, and then Urgrim probably becomes like a dungeon carry for me. But he is a big pull for my account. He will pay off eventually. It's a bit like Odd One's Tomb Lord. It may not be so crazy right now, but it will pay off eventually. We've got Rhonda ascended. Ascending Rhonda was pretty big. We get this 50% chance to join attack. And we have been using Runic Warder a lot. We did book him purely because the Fire Knight, he was my only decrease attack champion. It's a pretty good rate. You know, we get 2 hits. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing the big decrease attack on a 3-turn cooldown. Probably as good as it gets on an A2, unless you are getting legendary champions. And we do have like a baby continuous heal and a reflect for the Fire Knight on a 3-turn cooldown. So he was a pretty good addition. We have managed to, I think, pick up one of the Razin fusion, which is this dude. The others are farmable, so I've been feeding them, but we've only picked up one, so we're not really progressing that much there. We pulled a lot of the farmable rares from the Ancients. And we've got a few decent epics here. Obviously, we pulled the Umbral and the Harken from the 2 voids that we had right at the start of the free-to-play challenge. Quagon is probably the best pull out of the pull from Hellhades it gave me. He has that interesting increased defense option where we potentially could run him in the clan boss on a 4-3 and get increased defense out once we've got the right build and the team. But until we have an ally protector, he's just going to sit there in the vault until we have the team to build. Arndulf, I can't see any use for, but I'll keep hold of him purely for faction wars. And then we've just keeping hold of some of the decent rares that we know in the game, like Metal Shaper. When we get to Scarab, might be pretty important. Prosecutor is an interesting one for Fire Knight. We might be using her to try and beat Fire Knight 13. We've also got like the Elhain starter. Fleshmonger is the only AoE decreased defense, I think, outside of legendaries in the faction, so I'm keeping hold of him. Same as Bloat Wraith. Bloat Wraith actually is the only AoE decreased defense in the entirety of Undead Hordes, legendary included. Actually quite insane. So we're keeping hold of some of those. I think now I've got a few more options, but I have this one dilemma. Who do we 60 next? Because when you 60 a champion, you are really looking at clan boss to begin with. I'm 60 in champions because I want access to either damage or I want access to Warmaster and Giant Slayer. Yes, you get survivability in terms of base stats and you get access to a banner. That makes sense, right? But generally, it's all about I want to either get Giant Slayer or damage. Now, damage for my Kale is pretty okay. He's able to clear. He's in a really good build for a starter build. We've got 174 speed, 83% crit rate, 160% crit damage, and about 2.4k attack. The weapon needs to be upgraded, and we're not in any sort of high damage accessories. We haven't been lucky yet. You know, we've been able to pick up a resistance banner. There is an attack banner here, but because this is rolled attack percentage, it's never going to quite beat it at the moment. But that could potentially come in as a 4-star. It's a bit of a problem. So he's in a good build, damage-wise. So that's okay. We know Gembo is coming. So in Arena Nuka, Gembo will be the one that I will take forward. So we're looking at here and going, well, I don't really need to max Rhonda. It's the same affinity. I don't need more damage. And it's a legendary champion that I don't really want to invest books in because she doesn't bring any of my key roles. She's not an ally protector. She doesn't bring decreased attack, decreased defense. She doesn't bring weaken. She doesn't bring shield in. She doesn't bring speed. She doesn't bring turn meter control. She's an out-and-out damage dealer. I don't need another one. So she's kind of out of the frame for a 60 at the moment. A lot of people would say, well, Deacon or Urgrim makes sense. Yes, but Deacon is doing everything that he needs to do at 50. Adding him to 60 will pay off when I want to put him in the clan boss speed tune, but instantly 60 him now isn't going to like progress my account that much in terms of dungeons. He's not going to make the difference. Urgrim potentially could be. He's on the borderline, but the biggest challenge I have with Urgrim is until he is booked, he's basically useless. These on a 5-turn cooldown are just so high. Each hit has a 25% chance that needs these books. It's just so low a chance to place poisons. It feels really difficult to use him at the moment. And areas where I have used him and I failed, I've gone, if he was just booked, it would be the difference. So getting epic books is going to be a problem. And he loves to read. We got lucky on one, which is great. If we can get another one there, this becomes much better at 4-turn. This really kind of needs to be 3-turn, otherwise he's just going to die to the waves. He needs that big single target heal. And then obviously this is optional. Ideally, I just want these 2 booked. So he's a potential 60. Now, Runic Warder was really in my mind frame of do I 60 him because I needed the decreased attack. He will go into my clan boss team. But now that I've got Coffin Smasher, I'm starting to wonder if Runic Warder even becomes food. I know I've put books into him, but he is by far a better decreased attack champion than Runic Warder. And they're the same affinity again. And I'll get a bit of HP burn here, and I get a bit of damage reduction. Coffin Smasher will probably be in my first clan boss team once I get an ally protector, unless the ally protector I get includes decreased attack in a really reliable state. That's obviously the question mark. So that is the first dilemma we've got. I've been in this phase now for about a week in terms of who do I 60 next. So I've been getting some food. We've got, 2 rank 5s there. We've made Gladiator a rank 5. We'll be trying to maybe use him to beat up the Fire Knight 13 because we'll have this ability here, which is quite useful for Fire Knight 13. We get a decreased attack if it's at high level, or we get decreased speed, which will hopefully slow the boss down. So that means we've got 3 rank 5s ready to go, and we are working through the food. You can see I've got 2 rank 4s here. So I'm not far away from getting another rank 6. I haven't really invested an awful lot of time in food farming and grinding the food farm out. So yeah, that's where we're currently at. The Sunday update will probably be the big one. We are probably going to be getting double sacred pulls. We'll be getting all of these missions done. So you can see there's a bunch of energy for me to hear. We can progress. We'll be on a new set of missions. So we might be able to climb a bit higher and we'll be progressing further. Arena is a bit of a problem because you can't really stay in Silver 4. You kind of you easily beat Silver 4, or at least my team does. But as soon as I get into Gold 1, we basically get this window. We might get 1 or 2 teams we can beat, but then the rest of them are just way too strong for us at the moment. And because of the daily rated defeat limit, which is about 12 in Gold 1 to 3, I'm never decaying enough to be able to get back out of Gold. So what I'm having to do is play pretty actively and trying to climb above Gold 3, because once you get into Gold 4, that's where all the active one-man defenses are, and I can actually do something. And it's not because I particularly advocate or want a one-man defense, because I'm a strong believer that you should try and beat what's in front of you. But I actually can't decay. If someone gave me the option, do you want to go into Gold or stay in Silver 4, I would opt for Silver 4 right now, because Silver medals will help me grow my Great Hall. That's fine. But this constant situation where I'm having to effectively fight 1 or 2 times every 15 minutes means I'm wasting tokens, and I can't even lose the battles to decay because I'll be straight back into Gold 1 and I can't lose another battle. So we're able to beat up single man defenses quite comfortably using Rhonda's A2 for some champions that are pretty nasty. My Kale will beat things up. Obviously he's negative affinity here, but he beats that up pretty comfortably. But these teams we've got no chance of beating, right? They're either a bigger aura or they've got more team power, which means they're built better at the moment. They're further advanced than I can currently be. I only really have 1 rank 60. These guys have got 4, 3 plus rank 60s. But we are climbing. So the goal is hopefully, once I get out of Gold 3, hopefully Gold 4 will have a few more single man defenses and we can start pushing through some of this arena. We are kind of hoarding our medals a little bit, but I'll probably be looking to spend up some of the Great Hall, putting my attention into the accuracy for the time being, and then we'll probably look at the crit damage. So let's pull some shards here. Let's pull some soul stones. What do we want in the wish list? Well, we might as well put Rhonda in there because it's the only legendary champion we have, although we might pull something in the weekend. Epics wise, Orogrim seems like the sensible or Deacon. Although you got to keep in mind as well, what soul do I actually put on these champions, right? Cruelty on one of these for my clan boss would be great, but Orogrim doesn't really benefit from many blessings. If we consider the blessing pool here for an epic champion, we're looking at, Iron Will decreases the damage the champion receives from enemy skills activated. It's not going to be very powerful. Debuffs placed, that's only going to work on his A1. He needs to place it on other 2. You do have these Indomitable Spirits, Dark Resolve. Never pick them. They're pretty awful. Miracle Heal would be potentially okay, but it doesn't work for the A3, only the A2, and you kind of need it to be a high ascendancy. It's not really that good. Phantom Touch could help, but he's not going to have an awful lot of attack. So Cruelty is obviously the main one people look at. Lethal Dose is just pointless. Hero Soul could be interesting, but it's only really good where there's lots of minions, which is kind of like Spider, Hydra, and I think Iragoth. Otherwise, it's, Agreth maybe. Faultless Defense could be useful, especially against Affinity Clan boss. Faultless Defense is very strong, so that's an interesting option. We got an Aura. Speed Aura could help him. So maybe we've got a few options, right? We can basically go Survival Instinct, perhaps, so that if he gets debuffed, then he'll get some turn meter. We could go maybe the Aura or Faultless Defense. So it's actually, for an early game, it's better than a mid game. Once you get to mid game, you start not needing some of these effects. But we probably definitely want to have these 2 in here. And from a rare champion point of view, Coffin Smasher seems to be an obvious one. But I think these 2 are the only obvious ones we would need right now because they're the only ones that we're using predominantly all the time or going to be. We could obviously put Runic Warder in, but we're not really using him much further. We could maybe look at something like an Heiress long term when we know that she could be used in a clan boss team. But until I pull a Demither, if I ever pull a Demither on this account, then obviously that's kind of irrelevant. Now, someone did point out, if you only put in 2 options rather than 3. You do technically increase the odds these guys have, because effectively, if you put more cards into the deck, it reduces the overall chances of every other card in the deck. So if we double the odds of Deacon, but I want to put in 2 more champions, I'm not getting the full value of double. So I'm only going to put these 2 in because these are the champions I'm using. So we're going to start with the Mortal Soul Stones. We might as well buy another Soul Stone because what's the point of keeping tier 1? It really doesn't mean anything. We didn't get anything here, but it is baiting me with an Ally Protector and Corrigar. Baiting me quite considerably. None of these champions are something that I would burn any of this tier 2 essence for, right? And we haven't got any of these champions, or any of these champions, or any of these champions. So let's see what we get then. Let's see what souls we're going to get today. Souls can make a massive difference to the early game. Any potential soul. We get a totem at 2-star. And we will get a lot of rares here. A 3-star Reliquary Tender. If we get a Reliquary Tender, that is going to be a useful blessing. A 2-star Draconis. So we have one for a champion we own. Haven't used Draconis yet, but he's not a terrible rare. We get an epic. Oh my god. What the? That's insane. A 6-star Perfect Soul Doom Priest. That's exactly what I got on my main account. Is it like scripted? Is there something going on? I mean, I don't have a Doom Priest yet, but a 6-star Perfect Soul from a tier 1 Soul Stone. That's insane, guys. That is mental. That is going to like annoy the challengers so hard. A 2-star Diabolist, that's huge as well. That's like, we're getting champions we use here. Diabolist I'm using a hell of a lot right now. What else are we going to get here? A 1-star Vanguard, that's not so good. But we, like, Doom Priest, 6-star Perfect Doom Priest. Oh, we got a Legendary? Okay, it's a 2-star Sigmund. That's not terrible. We don't have a Sigmund, but it's a 2-star, right? It's a Legendary, that's Brimstone. If we get a Legendary with Brimstone, it makes everything so much easier in this game. And we get a 2-star Rockbreaker. Okay, cool. And now for the tier 2, what are we going to get? Go on, give me a Rhonda. Make my life easier. Oh, it's a rare. Oh, that is not good. The tier 2 was not good. Okay, all right. So, a 6-star Doom Priest. Crazy. Let's have a look at some of these ones. So obviously, we need to awaken this, right? It makes total sense. We use Diabolist. 100%. We awaken Diabolist. What else do we have here? So we have a Draconis. We'll keep hold of that. What does the Steadfast Marshal do? He's a Bannerlord. I have no idea what that champion does. He's a Void. So obviously trying to get him. Oh, he is the one that's the other Veil champ. He's the only rare that has a Veil. Now, the rest of his kit is pretty awful. But for Hydra, considering he's got a Provoke and Veil, that might be worth keeping hold on to. So we'll keep hold on to that. We obviously can't use any of these epic or legendaries. The Draconis is the only one we've got. But I mean, that is... Obviously, we could sell it, right? For 380. But that's really not worth it. If I get a Doom Priest, we could look at something like a Miracle Heal, which is kind of like... It's a bit niche. But we could look at something like Cruelty, for example. Cruelty on a Doom Priest and Clan Boss. Used often for Affinity Friendliness. Insane. It's a shame we didn't get like a Rhonda or something because that, or even like Rhonda's my only legendary, but if we can get Rhonda with a Brimstone, like that makes so much better because this 4-hitter is going to put it on all the time, even at 1-star. But that's like a dream in the future. If, for example, I will hold 20 all the time, if Rhonda comes up in my legendary, it's an instant purchase. Even if Rhonda's not even 60 on any of my teams, because Brimstone damage will help me progress so fast. So fast. But there we go, guys. That is the souls done. Now, I don't think we can get anything else, can we? Because we've only got 600 here. We can't buy this. We can't buy this. We can't really buy essence unless we want to buy one of these, and we're not using any of these champions at the moment. But I'll take it. I'll take a 6-star Doom Priest. I'm going to go now brag to the rest of the challenges, and we'll see what they think about that. But guys, that is the end of this episode. We're going to be looking at a new episode on Sunday where we'll be doing a lot of this progression. I'll be streaming probably on Thursday night. I don't know when this video is going out. It might go out tomorrow, which will be Thursday. So you will be able to catch me later on. We will be looking at probably trying to get that Finite 13 down. We might have to go into the doldrums of speed tune and try and keep the shield down rather than trying to outbeat it, or maybe we need to do some heal reduction shenanigans. But if you've liked this video, as always, please consider giving it a thumbs up and liking this video. If you want to see more of the free-to-play series, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification. It will go straight into your feed, and I will catch you guys in the next video.